So this lesson is about how to multiply fractions, and hopefully by the end of it you'll be able to use your knowledge of how to simplify fractions, how to convert fractions between mixed numbers and improper fractions, which will ultimately lead to a successful learning experience so that you can multiply fractions. So before we dive into different types of fractions and how to multiply fractions, what I'd like to look at first is this here. I have 5 different objects and I'm being asked for a fifth of 5. So remember, of is the same to multiply. So therefore I've got a fifth times 5, so a fifth of 5. So therefore 1/5 of 5 different parts is 1. If I look at a quarter times 4, so a quarter of 4, again that's just 1 part. A third times 3, so 1/3 of 3 is 1. And a half of 2, so a half times 2 is also 1. So if we think to ourselves, what will the next product be? Now remember, product means to multiply. Okay, so what will the next sum look like, I suppose, is what the question is there. So you'll notice we've went a fifth, a quarter, a third, a half, and here we've went 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 with the next product. Okay, so 1/1 times 1 is of course 1. What do you notice? So if I was to put that pattern back up, well, hopefully you notice there's a pattern. What do you notice? Hopefully you noticed that no matter what number was here, whether it was a 5, a 4 or a 3, the same number appeared here. So if you've got the same number over 1, so 1 over say 8, and you multiplied that by the whole number 8, so an eighth times 8 would equal 1. And that could be applied for any number. Excuse me. Here's some further examples. So applying what we've just learned, okay, if I have 1/9 times 9, now remember any whole number can be written as the whole number over 1, so we can change it to an improper fraction. Then we know 1 over anything times by the whole number will give us 1. So we could have jumped straight to that 1. Another way we could do it is by cross dividing. So we have 9 and 9 diagonal from each other. And if we divide 9 by 9, we get 1. And again, if you divide 9 by 9, you get 1. And multiplying fractions, if you then do the numerator times by this numerator, so we now have 1 times 1, which is 1. And on the bottom, you're going to have, and should I say the denominator, you're going to have 1 times 1. Again, your answer will be 1. Second example here, a half of 2/3. So as I've already said, remember of is the same as multiplying. This time I've got a half times 2/3. So I don't have a whole number anymore. Okay, so we're going to have to use this second strategy that I've spoken about, where you're going to simplify diagonally. So here I have 2 and 2. Now they can both be divided by 2. And doing so, 2 divided by 2 leaves me with 1. 2 divided by 2 leaves me with 1. So now I can multiply these fractions using my new numbers. So the numerators on the top, I have 1 times 1, which is 1. And on the bottom, I have, or the denominators, I have 1 times 3, which is 3. So that's why your new fraction, or the answer to a half of 2/3 is 1/3. Here's another example which is slightly similar in the sense that you're going to be using the same strategy. You can divide diagonally here. 5 and 10 both have 5 as a common multiple, a common factor, sorry. So 5 and 10 are both divisible by 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 10 divided by 5 is 2. Double check, can you simplify the other way diagonally? 3 and 7, they are not divisible by any common factor. So therefore, that's us. So now we can go ahead and multiply these fractions together. So multiplying the numerators together, you'll get 1 times 3, which is 3. And on the bottom, so the denominators, 7 times 2 is 14. Double check, can you simplify the fraction that you now have? 3 over 14, no. That's as far as it goes, so that therefore is your final answer. The next one, let's see, can we simplify those diagonally? Well, again, I've got 5 and 15, so we know that they're both divisible by 5. So 5 divided by 5 will leave me with 1, and 15 divided by 5 will leave me with 3. This time, I can also divide the other diagonal. 6 and 8 are both divisible by 2. So 6 divided by 2 will leave me with 3, and 8 divided by 2 will leave me with 4. So now when I multiply these together, looking at the numerators first, so looking at the tops, I now have 1 times 4, which is 4. And looking at the denominators, so the bottoms, I have 3 times 3, which is 9. Therefore, my final answer, which cannot be simplified any further, is 4 over 9. Now, what happens if we have mixed numbers, which we do in this instance? We've got 3 and 1 over 9, and that needs to be multiplied by the whole number 6. Well, what we have to do is change any mixed numbers to improper fractions before multiplying. So 3 and 1 over 9, if we convert that to an improper fraction, if we do 3 times 9, which is 27, plus the 1 is 28. So 28 over 9. And what you'll also notice is that I've changed 6 to 54 over 9. Don't have to do that, you can leave it as 6 over 1, or you can change it to 54 over 9. Okay, leaving it actually as 6 over 1 is where you're going to get to here, because what we can see is 9 and 54 are obviously both divisible by 9. So 9 divided by 9 leaves me with 1, and 54 divided by 9 leaves me with 6. Now I can't divide on this diagonal, so 28 and 9 are not diagonally divisible. So I have 28 and I have to multiply it by 6. Now remember, if you were doing this without a calculator and you couldn't quite do that in your head, that's okay. Remember, you can do a long multiplication at the side to help you out. Okay, so 6 times 8 is 48. So put down your 8, carry your 4. 6 times 2 is 12, plus the 4 you carried over is 16. So you have 168 on the top. I'll rub that out actually and type it in. And your denominators, remember to multiply them together. 1 times 9 is 9. Now don't leave it like that, okay? Remember, you're still going to try and change it to a mixed number. So what you have here is 168 over 9, which is the same as 168 divided by 9. Now again, if you couldn't do that mentally, it's okay. You're going to do your long multiplication sum, like so. Okay, so 9 doesn't go into 1, but 9 can go into 16, and it can do so once, with 7 left over. 9 into 78, well, 9 times 8 is 72, and there's going to be 6 left over. So over here, okay, like we said, it goes in 18 times, and there's going to be 6 left over. Okay, so 18 and 6/9. Now hopefully you can see at that stage that that's not your final answer. And the reason would be is that 6 and 9 can be divided further, that can be simplified. 6 and 9 are both divisible by 3. 3 goes into 6 twice, and 3 goes into 9 3 times. So your final answer should be left as 18 and 2/3. And in National 5, the final answer is only ever given to a fully simplified answer. It won't always necessarily tell you to do that, but you must remember in all questions to simplify fractions as far as you can. Here's another example here with mixed numbers. Okay, again, you can't multiply, you must change your mixed numbers to improper fractions. So 5.5, if we do 5 times 2, we get 10. Add the 1 on, you'll get 11. So 11 over 2. 1 3/4, if we do our 1 times 4, which is 4. Add the 3 on, we'll get 7. Okay, so 11 over 2 times 7 over 4. You'll notice when you look to try and simplify diagonally here, you can't do so, which means that we can go straight to multiplying these fractions together. So multiplying the numerators together, which is 11 and 7, gives us 77. and multiplying the denominators together, the 2 and the 4 will give us 8. Again, don't leave it like that. Okay, you're looking for a mixed number here. So 77 over 8 is the same as 77 divided by 8. So 8 goes into 77 9 times. 8 times 9 is 72. We've got 77, so there must be 5 left over. And we're dealing with 8ths. So 9 and 5/8 is how that question should be left. The last 3 examples. Okay, these are the examples that you'll get in your notes when you get back to school. If you want, you can pause the video at this point and try these 3 examples for yourself, which would be quite a good idea. And then when you play the video again, you'll be able to check your working. Okay, now that you've restarted the video, let's go over the answers. So 13 over 3 times 6 over 7. 3 and 6 could be simplified by 3 or divided by 3. 3 goes into 3 once, 3 goes into 6 twice. So therefore on the top you have 13 times 2, which is 26. And on the bottom 1 times 7, which is 7. 26 over 7, so 7 goes into 26 3 times with 5 left over, which is why your final answer is 3 and 5/7. Second example, you'll notice we have mixed numbers. So changing them to improper fractions first, you should have had 9 over 4 times 8 over 5. Then if you can simplify diagonally, which in this instance you can with the 4 and the 8, they are both divisible by 4. So 4 divided by 4 is 1, 8 divided by 4 is 2. You can't simplify with the other diagonal, so therefore the numerators multiply together, so 9 times 2 will give you 18. Multiplying the denominators together, which is 1 and 5, will give you 5. Don't leave your answer as an improper fraction, change it back to a mixed. So 18 over 5 is the same as 18 divided by 5. 5 goes into 18 3 times with 3 left over, so 3 and 3/5. The last example, similar again to the second one, you have 2 mixed numbers being multiplied together, change them both to improper fractions. So 3 times 4 is 12, add the 3 on gives me 15, and then 2 times 5 is 10, plus the 1 is 11. So 15 over 4 times 11 over 5. Crossing out diagonally if you can, so 15 and 5 are both divisible by 5. 15 divided by 5 is 3, and 5 divided by 5 is 1. Multiplying the numerators together, 3 times 11 is 33. 4 times 1 is 4. Again, don't leave as an improper fraction, change it to a mixed number. So 4 goes into 33 8 times. 4 times 8 is 32. Therefore, you have 1 left over. And that's why your final answer is 8 1/4.